Jimmy Orman, bright day. It was a horse who just took a little bit of time, didn't he? But got the win last time when going back up to 7 furlongs, and I thought he did it quite well.
He did it great, Nick. He was a great run. It's good to get a winner for Manfred Mann as well. Great stable, and he's gone up a little bit in weight, but I don't think it'll worry him too much. He's a nice big horse. He's been working well. And I thought he'd run well last start. His run prior over 1200 was good. He was just beaten for a little bit of speed, and the good barrier helped for his last win. So he got a nice run just off the speed, and took him a little while to get there, but he just kept building and building, and I think the 1400 suited, and I think it'll suit again on the weekend.
I thought that was quite noticeable, actually, Jimmy, in the sense that he did just keep sort of whacking away. But were you always confident as his rider that you were going to get there?
Early in the straight, not really, but then as we progressed, I was confident I was going to get there. So he just took a little bit of time to build. He's a former Macau horse, and his form reminds me a little bit of a horse called WUNDERBAR. So, they both got down to that similar sort of rating, and they've both won in Class 4. WUNDERBAR obviously has gone and won in Class 3. So, I think he's probably as progressive as him.
It'd have to be a chance again, wouldn't he? I mean, as you say, it's one of those sort of open-looking races on what is a good card, a decent undercard as well. But off his mark now of 58, they've put him up to 6. You'd have to be confident he can do the same again, wouldn't you?
Yeah, out of the two divisions, he looks like he's in the better division, and like I said, I think he's at a good mark to win again, and I think definitely he's got the Class 4 ability. It's just a matter of getting the right run in the race.
Mark, you've got a couple of runners in the 2,000 metre race. Both look to be suited by the course and distance. Bravehearts and Snowfield for the same connections. We'll start with Bravehearts. These are his conditions, really, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. 2,000 Shah Tin. He's a get-back horse, so he's always reliant on pace. And he got in a fast-run race the other day, and the winner was too good for him. He had every chance. Matthew Purton gave him a good ride, but he'll meet that horse a little bit better at the weights this time, and he's trained on well.
Yeah, Winning Wing, of course, the horse that you allude to. He's gone up to 80. He's run some nice races off sort of similar marks. He's won off 76, so he's probably to some degree in the right place to go close again, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, and he's once he gets to these type of races, he runs consistently well, but he is reliant on pace.
I mentioned you've also got the other run in the field as well, Snowfield. Where are we at with him? I mean, he's showing a bit, isn't he, this guy?
Yeah, look, I've always liked him. He had a couple of setbacks when he first arrived, had a wind operation, but that seems to have been successful. He's had to make too long a runs at his last two starts, but I thought his run against Bravehearts was very good. He sort of got exposed early from the 700, so he was always going to find the last part of the race challenging, but he stayed on well. So now he's had that to toughen him up. He's had last week's dirt race, and he's a good backup horse because he does well in the stable. So no, I'd expect him to run well.
Mark, you've got Invincible Ibis lining up again on the weekend on the undercard, of course, for the Bank of China meeting. Mightily impressive last time.
Yeah, look, he's always showed above average ability. Certainly appreciated getting out to the 1400 at his last start. And just being ridden quietly, I think that suits him. He's trialled well since that, and I've given him a bit of a break between runs. He had a couple of early runs and just needed to just back off him a little bit. Now he's up to Class 3. He's got to continue to improve, but he looks like he's making that improvement.
The manner of his win last time, I mean, obviously where he was drawn was less than ideal in 14, but you had obviously a top man on board to overcome that in Zach. The way he came sort of barnstorming down the outside, it was very impressive.
Yeah, but I think he's a horse that appreciates a bit of room to move. His previous couple of starts, when he's got cluttered up, he hasn't really enjoyed it, but he did have the step up in distance as well, so he was able to get more comfortable in the race, and then show his true ability, in the straight, and he let down really well.
And the season ahead for him, I suppose, I mean, given what he's done so far, you'd be fairly confident that there's a progressive horse there.
Yeah, well, look, hopefully we end up in the 4-year-old series, the Classic Mile, if he's good enough. But he's profiling similar to My Wish at the same stage. But, the difference is my wish just continued to improve and has done ever since. But look, he can only do what he's done to date, and he's never run poorly. And the first time he went up in distance, he improved. So once we get through the weekend, there'll be an opportunity then to step him out to 1600 and see if he's capable.
It'd be nice to have another My Wish, wasn't it? Well, I've got you. I spoke to your jockey, Luke Ferraris, in the week, who gave a great insight to the horse. But just from a trainer's perspective, how is he?
Yeah, as good as we can have him going into the weekend. His preparation's been faultless all the way through, and that hasn't changed.
Well, David Hayes, we're getting closer and closer to what's going to be a big day on Sunday. You've got both Ying Rising and Tomodachi Kokoroe. Let's start with the stable star, shall we? As the time draws nearer, how are the nerves? How is everything? How's the team? How's the horse, more importantly?
Look, we're all pretty relaxed because he's in great form. He bounced out of his brilliant trial, and I'm pretty confident the trip away he hasn't gone backwards, and he may have gone forwards. So I think he's getting better.
It's a scary thought, really, isn't it, when you think about it? And I mean, he's won his last 14, including an Everest. I mean, he is like that fine wine, isn't he? He is just getting better, this fellow.
Really is, and the scales support that, and just the way he's getting around. I'd say he always was a bit on his toes going through the tunnels, and still is, but he's a more rounded, seasoned horse and not as jumpy as he was.
You've had so many nice horses, David, down through the years, but when they sort of get to this status, they do really become the people's horse, don't they, really?
Yeah, he's become incredibly popular. Look, if he wins this weekend and can equal the Great Silent Witness and Golden 60s record on International Day, it'll be quite special.
You're not sending just himself to the race. You've also got Tomodachi Kokoroe. I talk of stories. This guy is arguably one of the most interesting and fascinating in the whole of Hong Kong.
Yes, he's won his last 3, and since we've put the one-eye blinker on, he was beaten a small margin at Happy Valley at the end of last season, and the rest is history. And, he on times alone, if you're an advocate of times, I think he's run the second fastest, only behind Ying, over 1200. And he doesn't look like he's gone backwards, and I'm pretty confident he'll run a great race, but I'd be stunned if he beat the big horse.
While I've got you, I must ask you about your Group 1 runners, if I can. Just in the sprint, Helios Express, Raging Blizzard, WUNDERBAR. How are that trio?
They're fine. The sprinters are good. They're trouble-free. They seem to be in pretty good shape. WUNDERBAR's come down from Chung Fa. He looks great. He's a fairly gross horse, but this time I think you can notice that he's not carrying as much weight. He looks quite well, more racy. Raging Blizzard, he continues to improve. He seems to make small improvement every couple of weeks, and he's racing that way. He's certainly putting himself in there with a chance of getting prize money. He's on 110 now, so he's climbing up. Helios Express, his trial was disappointing here last week, but we're blaming the track conditioner. We had rain overnight, and I think the horse didn't like it. And Huey Bowman thought there was nothing wrong with him. He felt good. His track work since has been normal.
2 Group 1 winners in the mile. You've got one of my favourites, Red Lion, and Beauty Eternal as well. Confident with those two, perhaps giving a shake to some of the big names in that race?
Well, they probably do their best, after January. For their seasons, they're probably not up to the good horses, as we know. But later on in the season, they probably get a bit stronger, and the races fall away a little bit, and then they get their chance. But they're healthy and well, they're fit and sound, and everything's working. And this is the class that they've won in already. So we'll go see what happens.
Danny Shum, big occasion for the stable coming up on the weekend. Romantic Warrior is back at the races. How is the great horse?
It is good. He's happy and he's healthy. He has 3 trials and 1 turf gallop on the starting race course. All the reports from the jockey are positive.
Danny, we haven't seen him since Dubai. Obviously, he's had one or two little niggly injury issues. He's over everything now. He's happy and well and raring to go for the weekend.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you, Dr. Lawrence Chen. When he come back, actually in Dubai, I always text him, not 100%, but not bad, of course, but not as usual. So I said something hidden problem maybe. So when he finished Dubai, come back to the quarantine, me and Dr. Lawrence Chen come and check. It's sound, it's short and sound, but we still want to do the CT scan and find that he got an incomplete fracture on this joint, on this left foot joint. So we just have a good discussion and conservation. So we decided to do the screw surgery on it. It only takes 2 months off. If you don't take the screw, he'll be 2 months off, he will be okay, Sam. So, but just in case, take a screw, better. Okay, so I take his advice. Yeah.
Beyond the weekend, of course, he comes through the trial okay. He's going for a 4th Hong Kong Cup. I mean, that really is the stuff of dreams. There's just so much to look forward to with him still. And he's still going strong at his age, isn't he? I mean, he seems to be getting better with age, Danny, doesn't he?
I don't think he's getting better, but I do think he still keep very, very competitive, yes.
Zach Purton, you've got a big part to play in the weekend's proceedings, of course. I wanted to ask you about your ride in the Cup, however, on Voyage Bubble. Now, this is a horse that you've had a bit of an association with down through the seasons. Cracking horse to get on, of course. I mean, we mustn't forget he's a Triple Crown winner after all.
Yeah, and I rode him early on in his career as well. I think I won his first race on him, so I go a fair way back. And, he was a nice horse then, but he's really developed into a lovely horse now. He's big and strong and he looks after himself very well. He's got a very good brain. He relaxes and just waits for the signal, really. He wants to do whatever you want to do on him, so he's versatile. And he showed last season, I had my doubts as to whether he's a 1.5 mile horse, but that might have been his career best performance. So maybe we've been running at the wrong trip most of his career. But he's done a very good job and it's good to get back on him.
You've trialled him recently, he ran 3rd. I mean, it was probably a trial in 2 halves. The first 2 had their own sort of private battle, but judging your horse on what he did, he looked good.
Well, he's always going to get run off his legs in a 1,200 metre trial on the dirt, but for him it's just a matter of letting him roll around, get the work into him and move on to race day, and I thought he did a good job.
What about a crack at Romantic Warrior? Then we know obviously how good he is, but I mean, a Voyage Bubble in top form on his day surely gives him a race, doesn't he?
Well, he's given him a race before in the Gold Cup when I rode him. I felt like we probably had Romantic Warrior that day at one stage, but he certainly got the better of me late, and I don't think Voyage Bubble was quite at his best that day. He had a little bit of a hiccup going into the race, so maybe that was a telling factor in the final stages of the race, but at his best, he's certainly going to give him another run for his money.
John, you've got Szeryng going to the races again on what is a decent card. Mightily impressive win last time, winning by nearly 3 lengths, and must have been very pleasing for you.
Yeah, it was impressive. He's always shown us some ability, and he's a big, strong boy that can sprint. So, I think he's got a chance of winning up in class. He should be able to do it again.
You mentioned his sort of size and stature. I mean, that has been noticeable with him, and the way he's progressed well. He had trialled nicely before winning, so was it always the expectation to see a bold showing?
Yeah, he looked like he was going to go to the races and run well. His other win was quite impressive too. So when he becomes consistent, can put some runs together, he's probably going to have a good future.
They've put him up accordingly. Obviously never ideal, but £10. It's a decent enough hit, but probably worthy of the performance. He has to go to another level. Are you confident that he can?
Well, yeah, I think so. I think he's got the ability for that. It's just a matter of if the race is run to suit him and things go his way. But he's certainly showing potential, and a lot of the horses that win by a margin, they're capable of winning again. So he's in that category. I think that he'll run well again.
He formed part of a treble for the stable as well. Overall, are you happy with the way the horses are at the moment? I mean, I know traditionally sometimes for your stable, John, it's a slightly slower start, but I guess it's the end that counts. But the horses are in good form.
Yeah, well, the cooler weather's arrived, and I'm sort of hoping that that'll help them improve a little bit after their breaks. The tracks will change a little bit now. The winter grass will come on, and the track will be a little bit more forgiving. So, maybe we can give them a bit of a push and see what's there.